All right. Lesson one, we cover the Old English period and the Middle English period, and some of the more important texts that we'll be covering. Well, we'll cover some various things by Chaucer. We'll certainly do Beowulf. Beowulf is inescapable in a British Literature 1 course, and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And I hope you realize that not as a substitute for reading these works, but I've also made available to you some videos on these works too, and I encourage you to watch the videos as well as read the actual texts. In terms of Beowulf, what we want to realize is that at the time Beowulf turned into a written text, people were really not educated. Kings were not even that educated, often relying on others in their court to be wise in terms of being educated people. And so the average person, if they could count the number of sheep in their flock, know the value of their flock of sheep, that's about all they needed to know. So writers then were limited in their education a lot of times, and Beowulf really started off as something verbal that was passed along generation to generation before it was ever written down. And you'll notice that I'm too looking at notes. Notes are a very good thing. That's why I want you to use these lecture notes in addition to the videos that I put in this course. Now, Chaucer, too, had used video. Chaucer did not use video. Chaucer had used forms of literature that he had encountered in contact with Italy, contact with France. Things like the Nun's Priest Tale were based on or influenced by other works. And the Middle English period, just in terms of history, and you have to read the history lecture notes in this section too, the Norman invasion is really considered the event that moves us from Old English, that period, to the Middle English period. And so I want you to look at things in the Middle English period. Every link there, the history overview, the Middle English period forms of literature, courtly love, certainly the notes on Chaucer, they're going to be very helpful to you, and even the reemergence of drama, because as we move forward, well, we're going to do King Lear this semester by Shakespeare, so that's going to be important too. And in the Old English period, you have, of course, the history overview, notes on forms of literature, and just gobble up everything provided in this course about Beowulf. And so always contact me if you have questions. But I wish you much luck with Lesson 1. Thank you.